Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be explaining how to crochet an AirPods case. Here are the materials that you will need to make this AirPods case. So we'll start off by making a slip knot. And then chain 12. So after you chain 12, skip the first stitch and then single crochet 4 into the next 4 chains. After you've made 4 single crochets, chain 3, then skip the next 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet 3. And then in the last chain, make an increase, which is 2 single crochets into the chain. And then on the other side of the chain, just work single crochets across. So on this side, that would be 11 single crochets. And then once you reach the area where you've made 3 chains, just insert 3 single crochets into the empty space. And then in the last stitch, make an increase. So for the next 4 rounds, continue to single crochet in each stitch in the round, or until it reaches around the seam on the front and the back of your AirPods case. I'll meet you back when I'm finished with the 4 rounds. So when the 4 rounds are completed, it should look like this. There should be a hole at the bottom for charging, and the AirPods case should fit in this case. So all you need to do is just fasten off and leave a long tail. And then just fasten off. And you can remove the stitch marker. Next, we're going to crochet the top part, or like the cap for the AirPods case. It's very similar to the bottom part of the case. So first start out with a slip knot, and then chain 12, just like we did for the bottom. So just like we did for the previous piece, skip the first chain and then single crochet until there's one chain left. So when there's one chain left, make an increase. And then flip your work so you're looking at the other side of the chain. And then single crochet in each chain across until you have one side of the chain left. And make an increase. So this is the first round completed. For the next few rounds, we'll just be making a single crochet in each stitch around. When you finish the 3 rounds, you can just fasten off and remove the stitch marker. You don't need to leave a long tail because we left a long tail on the bottom base of the case. So this is what the finished top looks like, and this is what they look like together. So what we have to do next is just connect the top and the bottom parts together. So grab your tapestry needle and we have to match the stitches on the bottom of the case to the top of the case. And we just weave through the front loop like that. And just sew the top of the case and the bottom of the case together until you reach the end here. once you finish sewing, you can just cut all the extra little extra threads from like the beginning chains and stuff, and then just finish weaving in the ends, and then you can cut this yarn as well. So this is what it should look like after you finish, and this is what it looks like with the AirPods case, the AirPods in this case. So next, we're going to embroider all the features on the capybara's face. So insert the yarn needle just like anywhere that, it's just all subjective, wherever you decide to, where you want the eye to be. And then skip a stitch and insert into the row under the row that you just inserted your needle in. So that's the first eye. And then skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. And then insert your needle and then again skip a stitch and then insert your needle into the row under to make the eyes. So here are the eyes, and then to embroider the nose, skip 1, 2 stitches and then insert your needle and then skip 1 stitch and insert in the row under. So for the nose part, we're just gonna make like a Y shape. So insert kind of like diagonally from where we just created that line, and it's gonna go like that. So insert back in there, and then insert in the diagonally on the other side, insert back in the center. So there we've embroidered the face. So now we're going to crochet the orange to put on the capybara's head. Using the orange yarn, make a magic ring. And then insert 4 single crochets into the magic ring. And then close the magic ring by pulling on the end yarn. And then we're gonna make an increase in each stitch around, resulting in 8 single crochets at the very end. You can use a stitch marker to mark the first stitch, but I'm just not going to because it's such a small round. When you finish this round, we have 8 stitches, and for the next 2 rounds we're just going to be single crocheting in each stitch around. So after the 2 rounds are done, we're gonna decrease in this round, but first we can add a little bit of stuffing. It's optional because this orange is so small, but I'll just add a little bit. Alright, so for this round we're just gonna decrease all around and end up with 4 stitches. I'm using the invisible decrease method. That's just my preference, but you can also do other decrease methods such as single crochet 2 together. And then after we finish the decreases, there will be a hole at the end, so we'll close it using the front loops only method. So, cut your yarn and leave a long tail, and then grab the yarn needle. So the front loops only method is just stick the yarn into the front loops only of each stitch around, and then pull closed. And then just weave in the ends. So in the last clip I said you can weave in the ends, but I recommend just leaving the orange tail just to sew it to the capybara's head. So I would just run it through a few stitches at the top of the AirPods case or the capybara's head, and just, I guess, sew a few stitches to secure in place. It doesn't matter what like sewing method you do, as long as it looks good, I guess. That's just my philosophy for all sewing on pieces, because I don't usually like sewing on pieces, so. And then now you can weave in the ends. And then if you want a green leaf at the top of the orange, you can just grab the green yarn and just run a few stitches at the top of the orange. So yeah, this is what the finished result looks like. There's a little hole at the bottom for charging, and it can open and close. Thanks so much for watching, and if this tutorial helped you, make sure to give a like, and I'll see you later. Bye!